What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking one comic book character, as we do every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we generally just give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Meehan. Shaun, how's it going?
I'm good, Connor. Very straight-laced intro. I love it. It's like the old days of the pod.
Yes. I wanted to bring it back because this is the first Hero or Zero I've done for a little bit. I mean, 2 weeks, Shaun. It's a long time.
Man's been sick. Man's been
ill. So if you still hear me coughing, that's just, I had a little thing last week. We've all heard of it. But it's fine.
We don't need to go into it. It's fine. It's fine.
No, it's fine. But Shaun, this week, a lot of people will know the character that I'm doing.
Batman.
And I'm doing it because I'm doing Batman. Very close. Because of a little movie that came out. Okay. You might have heard of it.
Paw Patrol,
it was called the Paw Patrol The Batman series. Full title. And the Batman came out. And within the Batman, there was one scene that made me maybe a little teary-eyed. Maybe a little misty-eyed when I was watching it. Because I was very emotional watching it.
Was it when Zoe Kravitz kicked the shit out of that man?
That was good. That was pretty good. What I was more thinking of, it's in a hospital, and it's when a certain character we all like nearly faces the end. Not to spoil anything.
Anything.
It's hard not to.
Spoilers for the Batman.
I suppose. Because this week I am going to be doing a little known character called Alfred Pennyworth.
I never think of this man as a character to do in Hero or Zero. But he's one of the longest serving characters in DC Comics.
He's not only one of the longest, he would be one of the most well known. You say Batman and Robin and then Alfred, the Butler.
Yeah, and he's also he's set the standard of there's usually Jarvis for Iron Man is a very similar concept of you have the guy who helps with the day-to-day stuff.
And what's interesting about Alfred is he didn't start off like that. He's been around since the 1940, I think it was.
Right.
And what happened was he was brought in as the original character was a robust, clean-shaved man, and he was kind of a bit bigger.
Right.
And he was actually a detective, and he was a buffoon detective that was trying to solve crimes in Gotham.
Right. So he wasn't a butler. He was just some idiot with a magnifying glass. Yeah, exactly.
And so what happened then was they brought out the 1943 Batman serial, and what happened in that is in the very, very first thing we seen of Batman on screen, Alfred was changed to a British man with a moustache who was very thin.
And that's kind of what's held up, isn't it?
Yeah, and so the comics then looked at that and they were like, oh, that's way cooler. And so they brought him across. And in the Golden Age and Silver Age, his timeline is very messed up. He's got multiple origin stories to kind of try and put them all together. There's multiple ones, say, where he starts as Butler after Bruce comes back and is already Batman.
Right, okay. He didn't watch Bruce grow up. He just kind of joined.
And do you know how they go on?
There was one comic I had. I don't know, was it mentioned in Death in the Family or something like that, but there's a bit of backstory, a bit of spice for Alfred about what he's about. And was he an actor or something in a past life?
Yeah. So that we'll actually get to that in the report. But
okay.
That is absolutely true. How they got around it in the comic books is they took the fat guy who was really dumb and said he vacationed at a health resort where he slimmed down and grew a mustache.
No way.
Yes.
He's the same dude.
And they just brought him back.
That's ridiculous.
It was the 1940s. Nobody gave a shit. You do whatever the fuck you want.
Very little kind of stuck from that time.
Yeah. And in the early times, his name was actually Alfred Beagle for like a lot of the Golden and Silver Age. So Pennyworth is actually new as well.
Right.
They've kind of added in. And it was late. It was kind of just later forgotten that Beagle was used because it was only really used once or twice, and then Pennyworth was brought in, and it was first used, I think, in like 1970. It might have been.
Okay.
So he was around since 1940, and
Yeah,
he only
that's
had
a
the
long
Pennyworth
time.
since 70. So 30 years.
Yeah, but clearly, like, the Pennyworth is the one that really stuck. Like, no one... I had not heard of that Beagle thing up until you just said it.
Yeah, like that was, and his, as I said, his origin is all over the place. But the one I will kind of cover here is a lot of the New Earth version, so like 1986 to probably 2011. That's like the main timeline that I'll probably pick, because to me this is the most interesting Alfred is, and also this is the most well-known version of him.
Right, okay.
So, born under the name of Alfred Beagle, he grew up in England and joined the army once he became of age. He served in various conflicts all over the world, gaining skill as a field medic. So he was a medic in the army.
Very useful.
Very useful. After retiring from the army, he became an actor.
Hey, you called it.
And later a teacher for MI5, instructing its agents in subterfuge through the use of stagecraft.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes.
So he took what he learned as an actor and was like, okay, and here's how you pretend to be someone and infiltrate a place.
Interesting. That might come in handy.
Very convenient.
During this time, Alfred received a special mission, loaning his services to the MI7. After the mission ended, Alfred was forced to retire from service, adopt a new identity, and move to the United States of America, where he legally changed his name to Pennyworth.
Right.
That's how the story goes.
Okay.
He started working as a butler for the Wayne family because his father was he was a butler, and his dying wish was that his son would get involved with a family instead of going off to war and going into like dangerous war zones and working for MI5 and all this.
Yeah.
So he wanted him to carry over the family tradition as his dying wish. So that's why he became the butler of the Wayne family.
Okay. And they just happened to be like looking for a butler at the time anyway.
He killed the last one, I can only assume.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Him, Connor.
He's a bad dude, to be honest. In the comic books, like, you don't fuck with him.
No, yeah, he's a, like, because he will kill, is the thing.
Yes.
He has
doesn't have a
killed.
coat.
He has no coat. Man's on the edge.
He brought a rocket launcher to the meeting with the Waynes and blew up the previous butler. It was like, now you need one.
He said, I'll clean that up now.
He'll clean it up. He gets the duster out. After several months, Alfred voiced a desire to return home to continue acting. However, these plans were forgotten when a young Bruce returned home from school early after being bullied. Alfred taught Bruce how to defeat the bully strategically rather than using brute force. That you need to run into everything head first, Bruce. Armed with Alfred's tutelage, young Bruce managed to take care of his bully problem. Alfred stayed on as the family butler at Bruce's request because Bruce didn't have a lot of friends growing up, and Alfred was nice.
That's why. So that's Bruce's first like training. Then came from Alfred in a way.
Yeah,
insane.
And after the murders of Thomas and Martha Wayne, Bruce avoided becoming a ward of the state by actually falsifying records, and Alfred acted as Bruce's guardian alongside Leslie Tompkins, who runs the medical centre in Gotham.
Right.
Until Bruce left Gotham at the age of 14, as the story goes, to scour the world.
So he did that at 14, he left.
I mean, I think I suppose.
In that version, like, he probably he went and searched for stuff and did a bunch of stuff. That's kind of sad, but kind of nice as well, that Alfred stayed around for Bruce. Like, that's...
He stayed around for the kid, basically.
And then eventually, like, he basically became his son. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, basically. Alfred actually remained as the sole guardian of Wayne Manor until the eventual return of Bruce Wayne after many years of study and training. And it was on his return that he supported Bruce's plan to take back Gotham City from the criminals and helped him as best that he could.
So Bruce rocks up. He's what, like 21 at this point? And He's just like, Alfred, I'm going to dress up as a bat and beat up all criminals. And Alfred is just like, aces, let's do it. I've been so bored.
Alfred's like, I'm in. Alfred's like, since your parents passed away, this city's got the shit. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm all in. And I think he just liked having them back. I think he just liked having them back home.
You would indeed.
Alfred tended to Bruce's wounds after his first outing, but only after Bruce discovered a bat in the study that inspired him to, of course, don the costume. We all know the story. When Lieutenant Gordon and his wife paid a visit to Wayne Manor while doing some investigation about the Batman that was going around Gotham, Alfred helped Bruce disguise himself as a self-absorbed playboy millionaire and thus escaped suspicion of Bruce's involvement. So T taught Bruce everything he knows about acting.
Holy shit. He's like this... Alfred's like this Swiss Army knife of a character builder. Where he's just like, no, he's done it all. So he can teach it all. That's that's so good.
Because he's an actor and he wanted to do an actor. So what better? He's teaching Bruce through subterfuge. We're going to pretend you're a playboy. Nobody's going to suspect you.
Yeah, you have to be the complete... You have to be so self-absorbed that people think you're not going to help the city in any way.
Yeah, exactly. And after the successful first year, Alfred basically became the most trusted ally of the Batman. And why Alfred works in the comics is if Batman is by himself, we never really get to see or hear anything that he's thinking. Whereas Alfred can ask what we want to ask. Like, why do you think the Joker did this? Why is Riddler doing that? What's next? What are you thinking, Master Bruce? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, and also like it's convenient in a story sense because Bruce doesn't have to go back to the Batcave after every piece of evidence he finds. Like if he finds a footprint, he can take a picture and send it to Alfred, and Alfred
can do that. Like he can. This is before Oracle and all that stuff. Like Alfred was the first. He often provided everything to make the Dark Knight's quest easier. So he's just basically helping in any way that he can.
And he's the medic as well, so he patches Bruce back up.
Always stitches him right because he's an army medic, so he's seen everything. In the same way as Alfred is a father figure for Bruce, he considered his own son. Basically, he also played an important role in the inclusion of one Dick Grayson as Bruce Wayne's ward. Lil Dicky, one of our faves here on the show. Dick Grayson, of course, Robin or Nightwing. And he actually was the main reason for his smooth transition to become Robin. And however, in an effort to rectify past mistakes made with Bruce, this is one of my favourite Alfred stories, is Alfred tried his best to be a friend to Dick more than he ever was for Bruce. And as a result of this conscious effort, Alfred kept tabs on Tony Zuko, who killed Dick's parents. Tony Zuko. I always say it like the animated series. We've talked about that before. Alfred kept tabs on Tony Zuko. And he would always plead to the parole board to keep the criminal locked up in prison every time he was captured. So Alfred wouldn't tell them, or he wouldn't tell Dick, but he would go quietly to the parole board like, you can't let this guy out. Yeah. This guy's a menace. He killed this boy's parents. And I'm his ward now. That kind of stuff.
Because he knows if Zuko gets out, Dick is going to go after him.
Exactly. Alfred did this for 11 years.
What the shit?
Every year he would go to the parole board at the same day, whenever it was called, around the same time of year, and quietly plead his case. You can't let him out. You can't. Like, this will ruin this boy's life. And he never told Dick he did it, but he's just looking out for him.
He was just keeping him safe. Jesus, that's insane.
Yeah. And Zuko eventually was let out in the 12th year, no matter how much he pled. And unfortunately, Alfred considered this a deep personal failure. However, it's a good character growth because Dick, although like he's devastated at the start, they use it to him and Bruce finally stop him. And they solve it. And I don't think they ever find out that Alfred did it. Maybe they do. But I like the idea that they don't. That Alfred tried for as long as possible to put this off until Dick was old enough
and he just
take it.
He took it all on himself for 11 years, just being like, no,
so say if Tony Zuko gets released when Dick is 14, is much different from when he gets released when Dick's 22.
Yeah, exactly. Or even like if Dick was like 17, 18 and Zuko got released, like Zuko's dead at that point and Robin is down a bad
if
path.
Zuko gets released when he's Nightwing and he's like 28, he's like, okay, I'm going to take all, and he's seen hundreds of battles and hundreds of villains. He's got, okay, I'm not going to overreact here.
Yeah.
So like something like that is just a cool character building moment. And also what he's also big into is Tim Drake. And Tim Drake and Alfred are actually really good. Alfred is best friends with both Dick Grayson and Tim Drake, mostly, to be honest.
Excellent. And they love him as well.
And they love him. Dick Grayson has actually said that Alfred is one of his best friends in the whole world.
That's really nice.
So Alfred, he doesn't like Batman, but Alfred remained the most trusted ally of Batman and Robin, even after Dick Grayson's separation from the team, and after Jason Todd's obviously passes away at the hands of Joker. 6 years pass, and Batman is obviously like he's getting darker and darker as it goes. And Alfred played a vital role in the introduction of Tim Drake into the Batman's life. When Dick Grayson brought Tim to Wayne Manor, Alfred was shocked to learn that Tim had deduced everything about the Batman and Robin all by himself, which is why Tim Drake is cool. Because
he's the best detective. He's so
he's
good.
A genius. He's a better detective than Bruce, and that's why he gets to be Robin. He's not the best athlete, not the best fighter. He's just the smartest. And
I like that.
He gets brought in, and obviously Bruce is like, I don't want another Robin. I know what I do with that.
Yeah, after Jason, I can't. It's too dangerous.
Yeah. And Tim Drake is like, I think Batman needs a Robin. Very famous, he says that. And more importantly, Alfred says, Bruce, I think you need a Robin. I think you need someone, because otherwise you're going to kill yourself. Like, you're just going to keep going into battles that you can't win until somebody shoots you.
Yeah, because you don't care if you die, is the problem.
Yeah. And I care if you die.
Yeah. That's, man. I like how, like, Alfred's clearly thought about this as what's best for everyone, but I like that he's swinging for the Robins. Just being like...
Even more so, he trained him at the start. So Bruce says, like, there's a whole thing where Bruce and Nightwing get captured, and Alfred turns to Tim and is like, it's your chance, we're going to do this. And they do it together with the two of them, they save everything. And then at the end, Bruce is like, okay, he can join the team, but I'm not training him. You're going to train him for the first few weeks till he's good enough to train with me. So actually, Alfred is the first trainer of Tim Drake.
Like he was the first trainer for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That's exactly. So fucking cool.
Yeah. So that's just like his relationship with the Robins. A really big story for Alfred is, of course, Nightfall, which involves Bane, and he doesn't like Batman. And if anyone has seen or knows anything about Nightfall, it's the story when Bane basically releases everybody from jail, like every villain, and releases them all. And Bruce, he just basically makes Bruce go around the place trying to stop crime constantly for like days.
Yeah,
and he never
wears him out.
Just wears him out. He never gets to heal his injuries from each fight, and he's just like limping into the next fight, and he's fighting, and then Bane comes up and just breaks his spine. Because Bane is like fully fit, fresh, ready to go.
Bane has been resting this whole time. Just
letting him just tire himself out. It's a great story. But back in Gotham, after a few days, it said Alfred noticed that Bruce wasn't the same. And he actually at one point came back and Batman was asleep on the staircase of the Batcave. That he was just like, you're going to kill yourself. And he was always present to tend Batman and Robin's wounds during these days. Mm-hmm. Despite Bruce's intent on self-destruction, Alfred would keep reminding him about his affairs as Bruce Wayne during this time. And Alfred became aware of Bruce's decision to shut out Tim while he was working on the case as well. And he decided that Batman would most certainly need help. So Alfred and Robin went looking for Two-Face themselves, and they saved Batman's life by doing so. Because he's like, Tim, he's going to die if we don't go.
Yeah, like, he can't fight. Like he
just keeps limping. He's like, no, I got to stop Two-Face. Got to put him back. So when the Riddler took over a TV show, Alfred took Robin to the place. And his assistance was essential in the capture of the Riddler as well. So the two of them are working together to capture criminals, to try and save Bruce from going into every single battle by himself.
So he might get like 4 hours of sleep that day.
Yeah. They also catch the Scarecrow, I think, in this time. And so a few hours later, they're like captured everyone. They come home. Tim goes off, goes back to his house. to the Drake household or whatever. And Alfred comes back into Wayne Manor, where he's knocked unconscious by Bane, who's sitting there waiting.
Oh, shit.
By the time Alfred recovers, he notices Batman is being destroyed by Bane, and with all his strength, he manages to crawl out of Wayne Manor and get to Drake Manor, which is near down the road. And it's just like, Tim, you need to come. Like, he's gonna die. A few moments later, Alfred, Tim, and Jean-Paul Valley, who's Azrael, they rescue Batman from the streets. And they take him into the Batcave, and Alfred tries his best with the medical equipment that they have. But despite his efforts, Alfred knows that Bruce's back has been broken. So nothing you can do.
No, you can't fix that with like a field medic kit is the issue.
Yeah. And so what happens then is like he actually helps Bruce. Bruce keeps straight. Even when he's a broken back, he's in a wheelchair and is like, I need to solve these crimes. I need to stop Bane. And the whole story is Alfred basically like following him around going, sit, like, don't move. For fuck's sake, you're going to die. So Alfred is then going around himself, like trying to find the clues to bring them back to Bruce.
So that Bruce can... Because Bruce is obsessed with stopping Bane at this point.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
And up until this point, Alfred is like, if you don't stop, I'm going to resign to Bruce. Because Bruce just literally won't listen. And he won't rest. And he just keeps doing it. And eventually, Bruce is determined to track down everybody. And it's just like, I'm going. And Alfred's like, if you leave, I'm going to resign. Because I actually can't do this anymore. Like, I can't see you just kill yourself.
I can't watch you do this to yourself.
And Bruce eventually says, okay, fine, I'm going to go off, because of course Bruce does.
Yep.
And as his last act, Alfred went to Wayne Manor to retrieve his stuff, clean the house, and he asks Jean-Paul and Tim to help Bruce if they could. And after this, Alfred moves away out of Gotham. And that's he leaves at one point. And the only reason that he comes back is that Dick Grayson, months later, like this is like 6 months later, Bruce is finally like, he's just trying to kill himself constantly. Dick goes up and they have like a heart to heart, and he's like, Dick manages to convince him to return to America, because he's like, Dick is like saying, like, he's not going to listen to me. I mean, he might listen to you once every 10 times.
You have a chance, but like, he actively will do the opposite of what I tell him to do.
His resourcefulness actually also comes to the fore during the time when Batman is declared, when Gotham is declared no man's land. Batman is missing for weeks, leaving Alfred to watch the city alone, and he uses his skills as an actor, a storyteller, a medic and spy to survive and collect information on the recently destroyed society. He even uses his hand-to-hand combat at one point to like fight off a bunch of people in the city.
That's deadly. So he's a very capable, like he's a very capable man.
He's just old. So.
He's just not in his prime anymore.
No, but like if he was 25 or 35, like he could be Batman.
That's so cool.
And that's why they work together so well. So he eventually, I think, he gets into another fight and he's about to lose, and this is when Batman returns.
Batman Returns?
The movie, yes.
Okay,
so now there's two separate stories I wanted to hit on. Both of them involve Batman dying, which, not great.
No.
But in Batman R.I.P., when Hush reappeared. Sorry, I should actually do first Batman Reborn, because that's Final Crisis, so which is before that. So after the events of Final Crisis,
I agree with all of the words you just said, by the way.
It's fine. Final Crisis happened. The Batman family is obviously in shambles with the apparent death of Bruce Wayne. And this is a scene stood out to me, so I wanted to throw it into the report. Both Superman and Wonder Woman come to the Batcave to bring Dick Grayson and Tim Drake the cape and cowl Bruce is wearing during his apparent death.
Right.
Alfred eventually joins to bring both Batman and Wonder Woman their favourite drinks, because he's a butler till the end. Feeling bad that he's still working in such an emotional time, Superman asks Alfred if he's alright. And with a pause, Alfred states, "Am I alright? No, sir, I am not. My son has died," is what he says.
Alfred, my dude.
Yes. And he believes that. That's the thing.
That's a very Bruce response as well of keeping working through it.
Yeah. He just keeps doing it. What else can he do?
Yeah, he might as well just still be a butler. Like, that's fucked, man.
Later, Alfred and Dick have a tearful and emotional conversation about not being ready for what they both knew would eventually happen. And despite Alfred's saddened state, he tells Dick they must not have a funeral for Batman, as the world cannot know that Batman has died, and it would destroy his legacy, the legacy of Bruce. And so he's like, Batman must live. So what he does is he buries Batman's body beside Thomas and Martha Wayne, or Bruce's body.
Yeah.
And he's like, people can't know Batman died. That's step one. And what this leads to is him basically being like, you need to be Batman to Dick. Like, you're the only one that can take over.
Yeah, you're the next in line, like, kind of a thing.
Yeah. And with that, like, a few days later, Alfred returns, and having no one else to talk to, he summons Nightwing to Gotham after Two-Face reappears. And after the first failed attempt at capturing the villain, Alfred comforts Nightwing and tells him to learn from his mistakes, just like Batman did in the beginning. And Nightwing finally decides he's going to return to Gotham because Alfred's like, we need you. And Dick's like, he hates Bruce, but he's like, fuck it, I'll do it for you though.
Fuck it, you're my best friend, Alfred.
And Alfred picked him up from the train station and took him home when he returned to Gotham. Where together with the help of Tim, they rebuilt the Batcave and agreed to continue with their mission in memory of Bruce. And after Batman's death, Alfred immediately began operation to set up a new Outsiders team in an effort to fill Batman's shoes with their combined efforts.
Right, so they're like, look, we can't, it's not going to be like still having Bruce Wayne Batman, but we can make up for that by bringing in more people.
And yeah, that's my favourite, is that story of how Dick Grayson becomes Batman, is because Batman apparently dies, or supposedly dies. He gets sent into the future. We're not going to get into it.
Okay.
Or the past. I think it's one of the two. But then there's no Batman, and instead of letting it die, Alfred's like, no, we're not going to have a funeral. Dick, you're going to take over. Dick's like, I don't want to do it. But then, like, after a few weeks, Alfred's like, we need you. And he's like, okay, for you I'll do it. And because in memory of my dad and your son.
Yeah, he might not have been perfect, but like, we owe him this kind of a thing. Yeah.
And so they're just some of my nice stories of Alfred that I wanted to include. Everyone kind of gets the idea of Alfred. So just, I mean, I think everyone knows already a lot. So I just wanted to hit a few story beats that really stand out to me. In terms of powers and abilities, I mean, he's got acting, he's got hand-to-hand combat advanced,
pretty
good. He's got leadership, he's obviously medic, he is surgeon, military protocol, he's got mimicry, he can obviously mimic stick fighting. He's actually able to spar with Dick Grayson using wooden sticks.
I mean, that's impressive on its own. That's like, he's in a younger man, that's like a broken character. Like,
yeah,
but he's like
a better Batman.
He's like a better Batman, but he also has like experience, I suppose. Like, he has a head on his shoulder. Like, he's very level-headed. Like, he never seems to act impulsively.
It's just he's one of everyone's favourite characters just because of his dry wit, like his comedy. Yeah. He's the one that brings levity to everything. Like, Batman's talking some weird shit about fucking Riddler doing something like really dumb, and Alfred is the one to go, that's a bit dumb that he did that, isn't it?
But he's also the one to be like, not, like, Bruce, do your fucking, go to this party. You need to. Like, he'll call him on his shit.
Oh, like, he's the one that holds it all together. Like, if Alfred isn't there, you get the Batman with Robert Pattinson. Because he's not listening to Bruce just yet.
Yeah.
Or he's not listening to Alfred.
Yeah, he's just this angry... He's vengeance without Alfred.
He's vengeance.
He's only Batman when Alfred's involved.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not the full circle without, like, the help.
That's really cool.
He's also the only member of the Batman family allowed by Bruce Wayne to own a firearm.
Oh,
he's the only one because he's a rifle expert, and Bruce is like, you can't fight people off, so you're allowed a gun. Nobody else is.
You're a self-defense kind of gunman.
Yeah, exactly. He knows he's not going to start using it like on the offense.
He's not going to Jason Todd everyone.
No. And like, as I said, the idea was that he came in after Bruce's parents' death, and like after Bruce's Batman. I love the idea that they introduced, I think it was actually in Super Friends, that Alfred raises Bruce.
That's so much more powerful for those two characters.
It's such a way better story, isn't it?
Yeah, that like because then it's a father and son dynamic, and it's something Bruce needs, and it's something Alfred needs as well.
And also, lastly, as I said, Dick Grayson has referred to Alfred as his best friend on multiple occasions.
I love the man. I love him so much.
I love the idea that the two of them are always so nice. And then we've got the other psychopath who's always just like, they're always circling around the angry guy.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, because the other two will have like tea and chat and see how things are going. And Bruce will walk off and try and assault a criminal.
They're both neutral good. He's chaos.
Yeah, he's chaotic good, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I just said, like, if anything, like, Dick is the one that, and Dick and Tim would be the ones to come over and just like, oh, Alfred, how you doing? Whereas if Bruce is grumpy, Alfred doesn't really take it personally. He's just like, that's just who he is. He's just a fucking dick.
Yeah, but if Alfred was like upset about something, like Dick and Tim would be like, oh, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. Do you think Bruce would?
Bruce is like, get it together, Alfred. Come on.
I have a fight to fight. Okay. There's a mission.
There's all these riddles that need solving.
So that's my report on Alfred Pennyworth, Shaun.
Very good report, Connor.
A character that has appeared, we kind of all know of him, but he's just always in the background.
He's just always been there. I take him as a given that he just always goes hand in hand with Batman.
Yeah, and he's an absolute badass.
Yeah, he is indeed, like yourself, Connor. And would you like me to take us out?
Yes, please.
Thanks everyone for listening to this episode of Hero or Zero. We will be back on Monday with Movie Mondays, Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, and next Friday with another episode of Hero or Zero. Big thanks to everyone who supports us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. Other ways to support the show then, you can buy merch, got t-shirts and hoodies and stuff, it's all linked below. Twitter is @Heroes for Hire pod, the 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire podcast. And the best way to ever help out the show is to just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
And I think that's about it, Master Lawler.
I think so, Master Bean.
Oh, very good.
I was going to say, so I've been Connor Lawler, but
yeah, really, I screwed that there for you. I'm really sorry.
Look, we'll see you all next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.